Good morning all, CamelbackTrading.org coming to you this Thursday morning, April 29th. We are looking at Window Traders market profile of SPY, IWM, and Triple Qs. And after popping out of that balance yesterday for a brief period of time in K period to make an all-time high, only to come back and finish inside of the 3-day balance. Second attempt by the bulls. Remember, 39 time frames. 39 time frames we've traded inside of M's range, all 39. So now this morning, let's see if they stay out of it on this gap as they're attempting to gap out of a 3-day balance and continue the bull leg up. Remember, the monthly and weekly are firmly bull. The daily has gone from back and forth from bull to balance, 1-day bear back to balance, and now they're attempting bull. Look at Russell. We said that 228.10 level was huge. Any acceptance above that, look at them going. Their next destination is the all-time high, which they're still $4 away from. So they still have a lot of work to do. Triple Qs also not a lot of work to do as they attempt to get their all-time high, which is 342.62. And right now their pre-market high is 342.48. So they're getting very close to it. The one thing that continues to haunt the bulls is the volume. Again, here we are, 75 minutes to go prior to the opening with only 280,000 shares on the tape. Destinations for this morning. Well, right now, we only have two, which will be, I'm going to use yesterday's high on both sides in case we don't gap higher. So yesterday's high, well, let me take that back. We were 11 wide yesterday, where we closed below it. That now becomes a downside destination. That doesn't go away. So right now on the upside, we have 419.01, yesterday's high, and then our pre-market high, which right now is 420.37. It's the only two things to the upside. I know everybody looks at the 420 level as such a psychological level where maybe sellers will come in. Be careful there. Be careful. We are firmly bull, and we're breaking out of a 3-day balance. Remember I said we should get a pretty good move on this. We'll see if it's going to hold. We'll go over that in a minute. For the downside, if we gap higher, we'll have yesterday's high of 419.01. That would be our first destination if we gap higher. Then, below that, we don't have anything until 416.97, which is our pre-market. Well, I take that back. We're going to have the 11 wide. 417.92. Then we'll have 416.97 overnight low. Yesterday's low of 416.90. And then the previous day's low of 416.30. So before we get more market-generated information, there is pretty wide, right? There's no destinations on the upside except the two I gave you. And even on the downside, if this gap fills, this POC would become a magnet. So it's incredibly important for the bulls. If they don't hold the gap, it's one thing. But you want to hold higher value, and you really don't want to get acceptance back into M's range from Friday. So if you dip into K's range from yesterday, I don't have a problem with that. You certainly want to stay above here. Any acceptance back into M's range from Friday and these 3 days, well, you know what the ultimate destination is, at least initially, the bottom of the balance, which is 416.30. So if the bulls are truly going to do what I feel this market wants to do, I said, well, I'm looking for a $7 to $10 move one way or the other. Well, if it's going to be the upside, they have to hold those two levels I just told you about. If they do, you're going to go see probably that 425 level at some point before we get back into this balance. However, if this market fails to stay above this level and comes back in, well, then obviously the first step would be the bottom of the 3-day balance, and then we see if we come out below it. So what is the game plan for this morning? Well, right now the gap is about $1, 100 cents, 100 ticks. I do not mind. I said, forget looking at price. We have to look at what the market-generated information is telling us. So a gap of $1 or less, I will be a buyer. That's what the market's telling us, plain and simple. We're going to have higher value. You can take the long. If the gap fills, you can get out of it, or you can see if that's all they want to do. A lot of times gaps are magnets. They'll just fill it, and then they'll go right back up. The opening is very important. We've seen on gaps, we open, drive straight down, and never see the opening again. That's a telltale sign. So that's something to keep an eye on. But for now, if we had to open of a gap of $1 or less, I will be taking a call play. If the gap fills, I'll see what kind of tempo and volume we get. If we start getting acceleration, I'm out. If not, I might even add to it to see if we go back up and at least test wherever we open. That's a call play. Right now, there's no put play for the moment. There just isn't. Until we get some two-sided trade. Look, if we open here, close the gap, and get acceptance back into yesterday's range, you know you're going to go trade down to that 11 wide POC. So maybe you miss $1 or so on the upside. But then you have more market-generated information to take that short, and you have better odds of being successful on that short. You start taking shorts anywhere up here, you're just attempting to pick tops. Anybody who's tried to pick tops for the last 12 years has gotten destroyed. Just keep that in mind. Just please keep that in mind. Again, early plays here in CamelbackTrading.org's voice channel room. And then on the chart, now remember, tomorrow afternoon's video, I go over all three of these indices charts from monthly down. We break them all down. For now, I'm just going to show you the daily and SPY. Look, we've been talking about this. We were balanced, went bull, went back to balance. We took out the previous day's low on Tuesday. We're in a 3-day balance, and what are we trying to do? Break out of it to the upside. Here's the weekly. I said we weren't getting a lot of distance initially. Well, now we're attempting to get distance away from the previous 2 weeks' highs. Markets don't go bull bear. Right? The daily came into balance, and then we went back bull. The weekly's been nothing but bull. This is week 5. Bull. You can call this balance, but you still one time frame it up, so it's still bull, and now we're attempting to break away. Please understand that concept. Because if you just continue to fight this, you're going to keep blowing up accounts. Good luck trading today. Have a great day, and we'll recap at 4 p.m.